Imagine standing in complete darkness. No cities, no roads, no electricity. Just cold stone surrounding you on every side. A small fire burns somewhere behind you. Its light barely reaches the walls. Every sound echoes. Every shadow moves. And somewhere beyond the reach of your torch, something appears to be watching. But here is the strange part. The creature you're afraid of does not exist. Not now. Not then. Not ever. Yet humans have been imagining impossible creatures for tens of thousands of years. Creatures with human bodies and animal heads, spirits, gods, monsters, and strange beings that never walked the earth. Why? Why would our ancestors spend precious time creating things that were not real? To answer that question, we have to travel back more than 40,000 years. Long before kingdoms, long before farming, long before the first cities appeared, back into prehistory. At that time, humans had already spread across Europe, and if you met one of them, they would look surprisingly familiar. They laughed, they feared, they loved, they told stories around fires. In many ways, they were just like us, but they lived in a world that felt far stranger. Mammoths crossed frozen plains. Giant deer wandered forests. Massive cave bears could outweigh modern grizzly bears. Even lions roamed parts of Europe. Danger was everywhere, which makes one mystery even harder to explain. Why were humans willingly entering deep caves? Not for shelter, not for food, not for safety. Some of these caves stretched hundreds of meters underground. The passages were narrow, the air was thin, the darkness was absolute. To reach certain chambers, people had to crawl through tight tunnels carrying primitive lamps fueled by animal fat. The journey was difficult, sometimes dangerous, yet they kept returning, again and again. For decades, archaeologists have debated why, and the clues were waiting on the walls. If you could step into Ice Age Europe, the world would feel familiar and completely alien. Mammoths moved across frozen landscapes. Giant deer carried antlers wider than a person. Massive cave bears ruled entire territories. And lions hunted across parts of Europe. To our ancestors, this was everyday life, a world filled with powerful animals, a world where survival depended on understanding them, which makes the cave paintings even more fascinating. When archaeologists first studied these caves, they noticed something remarkable. The walls were covered with animals, bison, horses, mammoths, deer, painted with incredible detail. The artists clearly knew these creatures well. They observed them closely. They understood how they moved, how they behaved, how they survived. But mixed among these familiar animals were stranger images, figures that seemed different, unusual, almost impossible. Some appeared to combine human and animal features. Others seemed symbolic rather than realistic. And these strange figures led researchers toward one of the most important discoveries in human history. The clue was found in Germany, inside a cave known as Hohenstein-Stadel. There, archaeologists uncovered hundreds of small ivory fragments. At first, they looked meaningless, broken pieces scattered through the dirt, but over time, researchers painstakingly reconstructed them. And slowly an image emerged, a human body, a lion's head. Today it is known as the Lion Man, and it is around 40,000 years old. Think about what that means. No one had ever seen a creature like this, because it never existed. A lion existed, a human existed, but not both combined into a single being. Somewhere in the mind of an ancient person, two separate ideas merged into something entirely new. That may not sound impressive today. After all, we are surrounded by fictional creatures, dragons, superheroes, aliens, fantasy worlds. But 40,000 years ago, this was extraordinary. There were no books, no myths recorded on paper, no organized religions, no science, no civilizations. Yet someone imagined something that reality had never produced, and then carved it from ivory. The Lion Man is more than a sculpture. It may represent one of the earliest known examples of symbolic thinking, one of humanity's greatest cognitive breakthroughs, the moment when humans began creating worlds inside their minds, worlds that existed nowhere else, at least not yet. Why would evolution create a brain capable of imagining things that are not real? At first, it seems useless. A mammoth does not care about your imagination. A hungry lion cannot be defeated with a story. Survival requires dealing with reality, or so it seems. But the human brain developed a remarkable ability, the ability to combine separate ideas into something new, a lion and a human, merged into a single concept. This process lies at the heart of imagination, and it changed everything. Because imagination is not just about fantasy, it is about possibility. Before you build a tool, you imagine it. Before you hunt an animal, you picture the hunt. Before you travel somewhere, you imagine the journey. The ability to mentally simulate reality gives humans a powerful advantage. You can practice without acting, plan without moving, prepare without risk. In many ways, imagination is a survival machine, and once humans developed it, the consequences were enormous. The same mind that could imagine a better spear could also imagine a spirit. The same mind that could predict tomorrow's hunt could imagine a god. The same ability that helped people survive also opened the door to myths, rituals, and monsters. This is what makes the Lion Man so important. It suggests that humans had crossed a cognitive threshold, a point where the mind became capable of creating entirely new realities. But there is another mystery. Why were so many of these images found deep underground? Why not paint them outside? Why not create them near campfires and homes? Why descend into darkness? Some researchers believe the caves themselves played a role. Imagine crawling hundreds of meters underground. The air grows thinner. The light grows weaker. The outside world disappears. You hear only echoes. The walls seem to move. Shadows flicker in the corners of your vision. And your brain